saving energy is definitely a big priority in our family, and 2 years ago, when our old hot water tank died, we decided to put in this tankless hot water heater. The machine only fires up when you need the water. We're saving a lot on our gas bill, but there is one problem. Up here in the master bathroom, the water takes forever to get hot. Still cold. Still waiting. Still not hot. 20 seconds, cold. 30 seconds, cold. So it seems silly for me to be waiting a whole minute for my hot water to get hot. All this water is just running down the drain, not being used, completely wasted.
So, Rachel, the problem upstairs didn't start until you installed the new instantaneous water heater downstairs, right?
That's right, that's right.
All right, so where was your original water heater?
It's right over here in the middle of the house.
All right, so it's back here.
Yep, right back here.
And that's right underneath where your bathrooms are upstairs and your kitchen, so it's a pretty short distance. Now, the installer put the new instantaneous water heater way over here, and I know why he did it.
All right.
This is a gas-fired appliance and needs to vent directly to outside, so it doesn't go into a chimney. Now, these are super efficient units. When you use no hot water, it's costing you nothing. It turns off and gets ice cold. That means this pipe, the hot water pipe, from here up to the faucet upstairs gets cold because the basement's cold. Now, when you open up the faucet upstairs and you want some hot water, here's what happens. Cold water comes in here, goes up through this heat exchanger right here. There's a burner right underneath. The burner comes on. It has to heat the water in the heat exchanger and has to empty out all this cold water that's in the pipe out through the faucet before you feel any hot water upstairs.
All right.
So now, the combination of where this is and the fact that the installer thought he was doing you a favor. Instead of using half-inch pipe, he used three-quarter pipe. Now, three-quarter pipe is more than double the volume. So that means you have to empty out this bigger pipe. So that means it takes even longer.
So is there any way to fix this problem?
There is a fix, and we're going to actually do it upstairs, not down. Let me show you. All right, so we are up in the master bathroom, about as far away from that water heater as we can get.
Right.
And when you want to get hot water now, you open up this faucet. You have to empty out this entire pipe before you get hot water up here.
Right.
We're going to actually do something today. We're going to install a bronze pump underneath this vanity cabinet. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to empty out that hot water pipe, but it's not going to put any water down the drain.
Well, where is the water going to go then?
We're actually going to pump the water from the hot water pipe over to the cold water pipe. Let me show you what I mean. This pump will have a little switch that you'll activate. And when you do, it'll bring this pump on. And when it does, it's going to pull that water out from the basement from the hot water pipe. At that moment, it's going to bring on the burner down in the basement.
Right.
Now, this water will push over this way, and it'll push its way right back into the cold water pipe on this side.
But does that mean that I'm going to get hot water in my cold water faucet?
No, actually. There's a little sensor right here called an aquastat, and when it feels hot water right here, it'll shut the pump off.
Okay, so I'm still not sure about one thing. Where does the hot water go after it goes into the cold water pipe?
Well, it really creates a loop. Remember, this pump comes on, so it's pulling hot water out from here, which means it gives us room to push that cold water back down here. It's why they call it a recirculation pump.
Makes sense.
All right, so our work starts by turning the water off down in the basement. We need to remove the hot and cold shut-off valves underneath the vanity, and these are soldered. So the best way to do that is to use a mini hacksaw to cut through the pipe. That's one. Now I'll do the other side. All right, so we have cut both of our shutoffs off of the copper pipe. It looked like this, and we cut it right here. Here's the shutoff, and here's the supply line up to the lavatory. There's two of them. Now, the unit comes with a special T-fitting. That allows us to go right onto our existing copper line that comes out of the wall with a solderless connection. It leaves a T connection right here to go to our pump, and another place right here to make a compression connection to our lavatory supply right here. All of it without soldering. So we have one for the hot and one for the cold. And even with a compression connection, I like to have a nice clean pipe, so I'm going to clean it up a bit with an emery cloth. A compression connection has three parts. A brass nut. This brass ring is called a ferrule. And finally, there's this threaded fitting that the nut will connect into. Once I bring them together, I'll tighten them up with 2 wrenches. All the rest of the connections are the same type of compression connections, no soldering. So all of our plumbing connections are now made. I've secured the pump to the base of the vanity, And now when you activate this pump, that water is going to leave the hot water pipe and be pumped over into the cold water pipe.
Okay, so how do I turn it on?
Well, it actually comes with this little doorbell button right here. I need to install it into the side of the van. I was thinking about putting it right about there, okay?
Perfect spot.
Good. So now we can plug the pump in with this 110 volt plug into the wall outlet. All right, so just hit that button on the side. All right, hear the pump come on?
Yep.
All right, so now you can always activate the pump from right here, but this unit also comes with this, which is a wireless remote.
Oh,
There's
great.
another button. And this can come in handy for you because you've got a bathroom just across the hall. So now we can mount it over there. If you hit the button, it'll bring this pump on. If we bring hot water up to the second floor, both bathrooms will benefit.
Excellent.
All right, pump just shut off. All right, give it a try.
All right. And hot
That
water.
sound good?
Hot water, and we didn't waste any.
You are officially in hot water. Congratulations.
Thank you, Richard.
All right, let me wash my hands.
Casement or awning windows require a crank to open or close them, and sometimes that gets stripped. Inside the shaft here, there are little knurls, and if this screw head isn't tight, these will get stripped off. Now, if you want to buy a new one, you can go to the home center, but it's very important that you know the size of this shaft right here, because there's about 3 or 4 different sizes. If you want to open or close that window temporarily, you can take off a piece of steel wool, wrap it around the shaft, nice and tight, down there like that, and then take this crank that's worn, push it on. Now you have to really tighten this screw down. Okay, now you should be able to open and close the window, and you're back in business.
All right, boys, it has a blue plastic housing and a black flexible hose.
Oh.
What is it?
Got it.
You do?
Yeah, do you ever go to a sporting event? Never fails. A guy in front of you wants to stand up for the whole
yeah.
game.
I've been
so
there
you're
lots
sitting
of
there,
times.
Sitting there trying to look around him and stuff. Worse off, he wears one of those cheese heads.
Look at cheese. Why always the cheese, huh?
Fiber optic camera. You just put it up like this, and you've got clear view of the whole field. You can even check out what's going on behind you.
Definitely use one of those.
Right, Kev? I didn't know you were at the game.
Yeah, right next to you. Why don't you go get me a sausage? Give me this thing. Unbelievable. Have you guys ever been stuck at a conference, right? You know, or a meeting, and
Oh, yeah.
the guys just droning on,
yeah.
speaking
All I hear
those.
is
And,
blah, blah, blah.
I like the meetings here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to actually, call any attention to yourself and lean over to the guy next to you and whisper something to his ear. Like,
Oh,
my
no,
God, this guy
no.
won't shut
That's
up.
rude.
I know, believe me, I know.
So this actually allows you to very discreetly whisper to the guy next to you. Watch
Oh,
this.
yeah?
Can you believe he's still talking?
I'm still hearing blah, 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 blah.
Right? Right there.
Gentlemen, it is not that. It's actually a pump that uses no electricity. It uses water pressure. So I'm going to attach a garden hose right here. Okay, and imagine your basement is flooded.
All right.
There's a discharge hose right here that has to go to a drain or to outside. Just pull it.
Yep.
Okay, so now we put this right here, and when I turn on the water pressure coming through the hose, it will pull the water out of the basement.
Going down, look at that.
Isn't that something?
Wow. Boy, it is really sucking it dry, isn't it?
So we are using water pressure to dry the basement.
That's very cool.
That's pretty good.
Now it's off to Dallas, the heart of the Lone Star State. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Kevin.
Boy, this is a great little neighborhood you live in here.
Thank you. This is the Hollywood Santa Monica neighborhood.
Oh, no, wait a second. I could have sworn I came to Dallas.
You're in the right place.
Well, what's with the name?
This neighborhood was established in the early 1900s, and that's what it's called.
All right, well, that's the name. Okay. Tell me about the house.
This is our house. It was built in 1937. We've lived here about 5 years.
Yeah.
Has a great living room with a mantle and a fireplace that we've never been able to use.
And so why haven't you ever had a fire?
When we first moved in, we were told it wasn't functional, and we do have some cold winters here in Dallas. We would love to be able to use it.
Well, I guess it starts with a proper chimney inspection. I know we've got an expert inside, so what do you say we have a look at what he found?
Sounds great.
So this is Clint Sanner. He is our chimney expert who we're working with today. Clint, you've obviously done some poking around. What have you found?
Well, we have an early 1930s fireplace here that was probably earlier used for coal burning. has
Coal.
since been used for wood burning.
Wood, I said from coal to wood, but we do want to burn wood in it today. Can we do that?
Right now, no, but hopefully toward the end of the day, we'll have it fixed up and ready to go.
All right, hopefully. So what do we need to do to get it fixed up?
Well, at this point, the fireplace here has no damper at all. The damper is actually the door that opens and closes that lets the smoke out of the fireplace here up the chimney. You also have no flue liner in this chimney. You just have the brick chimney walls.
So no liner, so no damper, no liner. But at some point, I presume they burned wood or coal in this fireplace without that liner. What does the liner do for us?
Well, the liner is very important for containing the byproducts of combustion.
Yeah.
The carbon monoxide, the smoke, and it's also important for heat transfer.
We want a fire in the fireplace, not in the house. So I guess we're going to add one of those and a damper. What do we need to do to get started?
Well, the area here between the firebox and the chimney is very narrow, and we need to remove some of these brick here to be able to pull the liner down.
All right, well, let's get to work.
I'm just going to remove these bricks using my jackhammer. Now we've got all our brick removed here. We're going to need to actually clean the chimney to remove all the creosote deposits before we actually pull the liner down. And for that, I'm going to use my spinning poly brush here, connected to a poly rod, and my electric drill. Based on our fireplace opening inside the home, we're required to install a 10-inch diameter liner.
Okay.
Normally we would install a round liner. In this situation, a round liner wouldn't fit, so we had it ovalized.
So you literally just started with something round and they squished it down to this?
Exactly.
All right, so it's still the right size, though?
Yes.
And the material?
This is stainless steel.
All right.
It actually comes in 3 parts.
Yeah.
It's going to be coupled together, and then we're going to drop it from the top and actually connect it to the mesh base plate.
So what is this here?
This is the mesh base plate that's going to be inserted from the firebox up into above the firebox into the actual smoke chamber itself.
Yeah.
This is going to be coated with an insulated mortar,
Oh, I see.
and it's basically going to funnel the smoke into the liner itself.
Gotcha. All right. And we drop this down from the roof. So is that where we're headed?
That's where we're going.
Okay. So how many feet we got here, Clint?
This is 20 feet.
20 feet.
You want to just hold on to it there?
Yeah.
We'll take this in from you. Keep going over here. Let you slide around.
All right.
All right, now just take that in, Kevin. Stick it down in there. I'm going to lift this in.
Okay, we're in.
All right. Don't be shy with it. Just stab it down in there. Push hard. There you go.
Wow, that went in pretty easy.
Yeah. Let's go put the mesh bottom plate on. All right, here's our liner. And now we're just going to pull it out and attach the mesh base plate.
Okay.
All right. Now we just have to flip this around. Now on your side there, just loosen it up just a little bit there. Just start this side. All right, that's that. Okay. And you want to tighten it up there?
So we just got a little clamp here.
A little more. That should do it.
Okay.
All right, good job. Now we're just going to feed the liner back up top. You want to head up top and pull it up?
I will. All right.
All right, great. All right, Kevin, just take it up. All right, about another 8 to 10 inches. Right about there. Come down just a little bit. Okay, hold it. Just hold it there.
Got it.
Just going to flatten out this part of the mesh here. Now we're going to use these concrete anchors to anchor our mesh plate into the walls of the chimney. I'm going to pre-drill a hole and sink them with my driver bit.
Okay.
All right, we're all set.
So we need to mix some water?
Need to mix some water. Good. Okay. Just slightly moistening the area so that the mortar will stick. We want a fairly firm mix, the insulated mortar for the smoke chamber, so it'll stay in place.
What surprises you just throwing it up in there?
Well, for now, I'm just throwing it in there trying to get it to stick. I'll actually be troweling it out, smoothing it out later.
You need a good pitching arm.
All right, I'm finishing up the first coat of mortar. We need to let it dry for about 30 minutes, and then we'll come back in and apply the second coat.
All right, all good.
And for the finishing touch, we're making it nice and smooth with a damp paintbrush. All right, Kevin, here we're going to insulate our liner. It's very important to insulate a liner for two reasons. First of all, to keep the heat within the liner itself so that the heat doesn't transfer to the combustibles of the home.
The wood framing of the house, we don't want that to catch on fire and have ourselves a house fire.
Exactly. Second of all, a warm liner is obviously going to draft a lot better than a cold one.
Okay.
All right? I would normally use an insulation blanket to wrap this liner before I pulled it down. And in this situation, I don't have the room for that. So we're going to use a poured-in installation today.
Okay, so we had some bags of dry mix. We can put some water in, and we got sort of a soupy concoction here.
Yes. And basically, we're just going to set this up at the top and kind of trowel it in.
All right, I'll get it up here for you.
Right.
How's that?
Great.
You got it?
Yep.
All right, I'll come up there and give you a hand. All right, you want me to trowel?
Yeah, just trowel it in there nice and slow.
Okay.
We want to evenly disperse the insulation all the way around the liner.
How many buckets of this do you think we're going to end up using?
It's going to be quite a few until we get to the top.
Okay, got another bucket for you.
All right, just in time. Thanks.
Take that.
All right.
Well, looks like we are pretty much filled up to the top.
We are, and I'm just going to trowel this out flat here.
Okay. Nice.
There we are. All right, Kevin, this is our top plate. We're going to install it and seat it down with a bead of high-temp silicone.
All right, so just going to slide this over our liner.
Exactly. And it's going to finish us off here.
How's that?
All right. Work it down. Okay. Seat it down a little bit more, and we got it.
All right.
Right there. All right. You got it there?
I do.
All right. I'm just going to tighten the clamp.
Okay.
All right. This is our top ceiling damper.
Yep.
We're going to install it here. The existing fireplace doesn't have a damper.
Right.
So this one's going to be mounted here at the top and controlled by this handle that's going to mount inside the firebox. We're going to drop the cable down the inside of the liner.
Yep. And so that's actually going to be the way to operate this. So when you're not having a fire, the damper's closed. And then when you're having a fire, just open it up.
You would open it up.
Right. All right. So feed that in.
Feed that down. The last couple feet of the cable's going in.
All right, I'll hold that.
Now we'll just need to add some more silicone. And then we're just going to seat it right down on there.
Okay, coming in.
Bingo.
Just set it right in there.
Right there.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, we've got it seated down. You want to hand me the lid to the cap? All right.
Line up these holes.
All right, Mary, we're going to show you now how to operate the damper.
All right.
To open, just going to release this handle.
So that's the position it should be when you have a fire.
Yes. And now, to close it, simply bring it down and latch it.
And that's where it should be when you don't have a fire. So it seems easy enough, right?
Yes, it does.
All right.
All right, two more things you need to know. All the mortar that we've done today needs to cure for a minimum of 48 hours. And on this particular fireplace, the hearth requirement on this to clearance to combustibles is 6 inches all the way around the fireplace.
So you want her to cut back some of this wood all the way around?
Yes.
Can you handle that?
We'll take care of it.
All right. Well, sounds like you are pretty much on your way.
We're really looking forward to this winter, and I can't thank both of you enough. We'll think of you when we're having a roaring fire.
Well, think of Clint. He did all the work. Thank you, Clint.
Thank you.
And if you've got any burning questions about your house, we'd love to hear from you. So until next time, I'm Kevin O'Connor for Ask This Old House. Next time on Ask This Old House.
I'm going to give this old kitchen a brand new dishwasher.
I'm actually looking forward to doing my dishes today.
And I'm going to show you how to make vinyl siding not look like vinyl siding. So this is what we started with, and this is what we ended up with. We've taken that old 70s vinyl look right off this house, Rich.
Details like this make a big difference.
Next time on Ask This Old House. Ask This Old House has much more to show you. To see entire episodes anytime, just go to video.pbs.org. This Old House magazine, the companion to the television series, provides advice from our experts that you've come to know. You can use your credit card to order 10 monthly issues for $10. Just call 1-800-221-5900.